All right. I think the point of this talk will be about the question, do you know who you are? And I don't mean like, do you know what your name is? Do you know your social security? Do you know where you're from? Do you know your birthday? Do you know, your parents, who they are? Like, what I mean is something a little bit deeper. And I think the best way for me to try to refer to what I'm talking about is by talking about myself. You know, um, I, for the longest time, I lived in this. I lived under the impression of who I was supposed to be, who I am, without really knowing like who I am. Like, how do I word this? I, for the longest time, I was a poser. Like I was a pretender. I pretended to be somebody that I'm not, or I couldn't fully live up to the expectations and the perceptions of others. Like, I don't really, I really don't want to talk about this, but I feel like it might serve a purpose. I've been trying to avoid this for a while, like in my personal life. So, like, I'm sure that the majority of people watching this are probably just like, oh, he's just some white dude with dreads, right? I get it. For a long time, I didn't get that. That's one thing I'm talking about. Like, you know, it's a good friend of mine. Um, he's black and white, and his mom is black and his dad is white. And one thing he said to me was, at least as far as like a male, like, you are who your father is. Like, you try to be your father. And my dad is black. And so I think as a boy, I tried to be my dad without knowing it. Like, I tried to be who he was and like him. Like, damn, try to be a black man. And like, I didn't realize that. Like, in elementary school, I was the little mixed boy in the trailer park. I was the little mulatto kid that was like, "Are you babysitting? Whose kid is that?" And in elementary school, I heard some comments here and there. I hear like Oreos, and like, even I had been called, the N word a couple of times, but like, I didn't really have too much self awareness, so like, I didn't think too much about it. Um, and like, I remember my mom, you know, blonde hair, green eyes. Like, she used to, for first grade, like, she used to try to give me the comb over, like, comb the side of your head's back, and then the top of your head, comb it from like the right side to the left side. It's like that's what I tried doing, and then my hair would freeze right up, like, as soon as it dried. I mean, it never really stayed. I mean, it took a ton of gel, but and it didn't really stay. It was wavy, it was curly, it was frizzy. She used to buy me like anti-frizz stuff, but it didn't work because my hair is frizzy, you know. And then puberty came, and that's when I realized I could have an afro, and so I started picking it out, and a good chunk of my male friends, were black, and so I tried to be like them too. I talked like they did, I acted, I dressed like they did. Um, man, I remember. I don't know why I'm saying this, man. In eighth grade, I went to a dance, and I used to get my hair braided when my friend's dad or my friend's mom used to braid my hair. I mentioned that family um, in one of my previous videos. Like, she just braided my hair, and back in that day, Lil Bow Wow was popular. We were about the same age, him and I. And he said, people used to call me Lil Bow Wow. And but anyways, the eighth grade dance, I was wearing a do rag because I had my hair braided, and I wanted to keep it neat. Um, And I remember seeing like a group of kids in the background. They were black. Might have been a couple other races in there, but they were laughing at me. And then this guy approached me and he started talking to me, and he was like, figured it out when he was talking to me. He's like, oh, he's like, you're half black, huh? I was like, yeah. He's like, oh, we thought you were just some white dude trying to support a do rag. And maybe it's unnecessary details. I don't know how anybody's gonna feel about me sharing it, but that actually happened. But anyways, like that's an example of I was trying to be something, not depending on who you talk to, not so much that I wasn't. I mean, clearly, like you see me, I don't really know if I need to go into detail on that, but I couldn't live up to the perception of being an actual full-blooded African American. But I tried to model myself after that. So like it caused this complex in my head, like this I'm not good enough complex. Um, but now it's starting to pay off because it caused me to look inward and really figure out who I am. Like I mean, I've really reflected on my fears, my desires, why I'm afraid of what I'm afraid of. I mean, because I started off this video by saying like, do you know who you are? And I don't mean like, do you know your name? And you can take it to the next step to say like, did you know what type of foods you enjoy? But I want to take it to the next step and say, do you know what you're afraid of, and do you know why you're afraid of it? Do you know about your insecurities? Do you know why you're insecure about the things that you're insecure about? Do you know what made you that way? Do you know how you're going to respond under certain types of circumstances and why? And can you change it? Now, I don't know if that really gets my point across or really illustrates the focus that I'm trying to get everybody to understand. But man, it's do you know who you are? I think as far as getting to the point and seizing the day, finding out who you are in isolation, finding out who you are in the dark, in a alone time, like in the pain. Like I say sometimes, you know, if I were to say there's such a thing as true happiness, like thorough joy, contentmentship, you know what I'm saying? It's not found at an amusement park. It's not found playing 8 hours of your favorite video game. It's not found at the movie theater. It's not found hanging out with your friends. I mean, those are great things and they can benefit. You can learn and you can benefit from those things. But I say that you find out who you are in times of loneliness. Like I can remember in junior high school and in high school, like, when I was living with my dad, I didn't have the internet. Like internet was still relatively new. I didn't have cable. Um, there'd be times where there was nothing on TV and it was late and I was too young and I couldn't go outside. And even if I went outside, I didn't have any money. I didn't have a car. I couldn't go anywhere. And there was nobody I could call because it was too late. And even some of the people that I could call, they couldn't necessarily help me, like even if they answered the phone. And I had to sit there with my thoughts, with my fears, with my insecurities, with my sadness and figure it out, like realize who I am. And then when the next day came around, just try to figure out what I'm going to do with that information. Now, I can't tell anybody what they ought to do with the information that they learn or with their life in general, but I just think that it's a noteworthy subject and maybe somebody could benefit from this idea, the example that I've given. I hope that nobody takes offense or took offense to my example that I gave, I hope you took me serious because that's real. And I'm not even 100% confident that I should put this on here. Like I feel like I should, because maybe somebody can learn or relate. But I mean, that's a secret, man. Like that's something that hurts on the inside. And I don't want to get made fun of for that. But You know, if I don't benefit from it and somebody else can't benefit from it, then it was in vain, I guess. But I guess I'll close with this idea. Um, an epiphany that I had in one of those times alone was when you find yourself in that place that's hard to get through, don't allow yourself to be convinced that how you feel in that moment is going to be how you feel for the rest of your life. What's that saying? This too shall pass. I mean, feel it. If it hurts, feel it. If it's sad, feel it and learn from it. Hopefully, you've appreciated this video. Hopefully, you've appreciated this information from me. It came from my heart, came from probably the most sincere place that it could come from. If you appreciated it, thank you.